Welcome back to this financial literacy series, and in this segment we're going to be talking about your home, your mortgage, your apartment, your wherever you're living at situation, so that you can propel and continue to go to a higher level in this financial literacy series. Now, this one will sound a little bit off the wall, and it may throw your mind a little bit that you didn't even know you can do this, but you surely can. I highly encourage you to do this because it's often overlooked, and you might be able to save money, potentially even save thousands of dollars if you're doing it in the right scenario. So in this segment, we're going to break it up into more. If you have a mortgage, if you're currently renting, and if you're paying nothing for rent. And these are three, situations that we'll answer to address, that you can keep mindful of, that can get you to the next level in your financial wealth and well-being. So let's start off with the first one, in the mortgage capacity. For those individuals that have a mortgage or about to have a mortgage and so on, one trick that you can often do is simply revisit and refinance your home. Sounds easier said than done, and I'm not saying to stop this video and go do it right now, but what I am telling you to do is be conscious that that is a strategy, right? Don't overlook that, right? Many times individuals stay in mortgages or stay inside of a type of home mortgage interest rate that they have because they've always had it and they've always done it this way, and it's a good rate, and they're going to pay off the home. And if I just continue to pay and pay and pay and pay, I'll eventually pay off the home. Well, although that might be true, you might be able to pay the home off faster if you have a lower payment and if you have a better strategy. So don't overlook this or look at it as this behemoth of a 30, 40-year mortgage, 15-year mortgage. It has to stay there for 15 years and 30 years, and then eventually you'll pay it off someday, God willing, hopefully the stars and moons align. No. I control my wealth. You control your wealth. You need to control this thing, right? At the time of this recording, the average person inside of the existence of a home, whether they live there forever or not, has approximately 7 to 8 mortgages on that same home. Keep in mind, I'm not telling you to go out and refinance and do that right now, but I am telling you to be conscious that this can be a strategy to help you in your wealth building. Right? Don't overlook it. It's not that you're set into this 30-year mortgage, set into this 40 or 15-year mortgage. That does not matter. You need to control it. Don't let banks control you. You use them to your advantage, and then let banks, do whatever they do to other people. But you need to control your wealth. So evaluate it. Maybe since the time that you've established your mortgage, rates have gone down, right? Or maybe since you've established your mortgage, rates have actually gone up, and you can now look at your mortgage and say, man, I'm in a good position. I'm in a great place. I'm glad that I have this rate that I am. I'm gonna continue to pay on this mortgage, pay this off, or do another strategy, sell it in the future, or whatever it is. But at least you're in the mindset to know that you're on the right track. Then again, 3-4 years later, still revisit it. 1, 2, 3 years later, still revisit it if you are at a good rate. Additionally, there may be different programs, different strategies that might be available to you, or bonuses or features that may be available to you as a homeowner that can help you, that you just simply may not be aware of because you've been locked into this 30-year, 20-year, 40-year mortgage that just has to stay there. That's not the case. Be open-minded and be open to ways that can grow your wealth. Additionally, in some capacities, you may have so much gigantic amounts of equity in your home that it might be valuable to you in other places, right? Potentially use, and this is always the disclaimer before I get too excited. This is not to go do tomorrow or right now, but have the open mind to do it. Potentially, you have so much equity in your home that you could buy another home and keep this one. Sometimes that's the case, sometimes not, but I'm just giving you the ideas and concepts to think about. So, the strategy here in this looking at your mortgage, your rent, or whatever you're paying, potentially refinance the mortgage. Just make sure you look at your mortgage. I recommend at the very least at 3-year increments. Make sure you're looking at it to make sure that it's in line with your financial goals and objectives. And if it is, keep going. If not, adjust accordingly and make those decisions. Now, switching over to the renter side, where individuals that are renting, you're like thinking, okay, I'm renting. How does that, change my life? I can't refinance my rent. You might be able to. Might not be the exact term, but it's very possible that you can. Let me give you an example. So many times you may have been living in this apartment complex, apartment building, whatever location, and paying a rent for a certain period or a certain amount of times. And you may have lived there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe longer, 5 or 10 years. And you live there because it's comfortable for you. You like this neighborhood. Your family lives over here. Everything that's good. And that's all fine. And there's nothing wrong with those reasons. But I will challenge and encourage you that it's possible that you can, quote unquote, refinance your rent or relook at your rent. For example, I was talking with someone recently, and throughout the pandemics and so many other things that change, they were living in an apartment complex, and rents have sometimes changed, right? Rents can go up, rents can go down. But the same building that they were living in, it turned out that same building was actually advertising the same unit, the same size, the same location at a lower rate than they're already paying. So the challenge and the strategy is, what if you could, just look at your building that you're living in and see if it's being advertised for a lower rate. And if it is, go talk to the landlord, talk to the owner of that building and say, hey, you're advertising it for this. I'm paying this. I want this rate, right? So therefore, this gives you money. The difference of that you are currently paying and the rent that they're offering, this gives you a gap of money that you now can do more for your financial wealth and well-being. So that can technically be a refinance of your rent. But it's all about having the mindset to look. Sometimes many people don't even look to evaluate their renting state because they live here. They've always lived here and they're going to live here. That's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, but have the mindset to be aware. Or maybe right next door, right next, across the street, they may be advertising, 500, potentially 1,000 or more, or whatever number less than what you're paying, and it's literally across the street. Right? With the hassle of moving, I get that. And some people might like it. I hate moving. I've moved 8 times in my life and I still hate it. But those moves were often good moves, but nonetheless, I sidebar. But staying on the rent refinance, there are ways that you can technically relook at this. The same thing is you just approach them, right? You tell them, I'm paying this much. You're advertising for this. I want this rate. Worst case scenario, you can say, I want to move out and move back in. So you move out from technically your existing space and move in at the new lower rate. Most landlords won't want to do that, so they'll just say, hey, okay, fine, we'll decrease your rent to the offering amount. Boom, more money in your pocket that you can do for other parts of your life and lifestyle. Additionally, maybe it's just moving to another city, another town that's neighboring by, or going big, moving to another state. that might be its own entity and its own discussion for another time, but potentially moving to another state or another city that may have some more favorable tax benefits, income benefits, raises, bonuses, jobs, careers, the list can go on. So that's a way to look at your rent, but let's focus on the strategy of reducing rent, and that's one way that you can do it. Additionally, maybe that you have a small business or a home-based business where you can be getting portion of your rent tax deductible as a self-employed or home-based business owner. Another strategy that can, again, technically reduce the cost of your rent because some of it is being tax deductible. Keep that in mind. And there's a variety of different ways to do so. And there's not enough time in this segment to bring that to your attention. But again, keep the open mind that it's available. And also comment below or ask questions. I might be able to help or share some ideas. Now, the third segment, what if you're a person that's paying nothing for rent? There are some people that are doing that. And if you are, wow, lucky you. And secondly, I don't believe in luck. So therefore, good job you. You're in a position where you can maximize and take advantage of a great opportunity. Individuals that are in spaces where they are not paying rent for whatever reason, and there's nothing wrong with that, potentially a short-term living space where you're, living with friends or families or colleagues or someone for whatever reason. That doesn't matter. I really don't care, right? If you're in a position where you have free rent and you're getting income, you are probably in the most ideal position to maximize your saving and long-term planning financial well-being right now. So in segments where we talked about lifestyle and saving and investing, I would highly challenge the person that's paying nothing for rent to start paying themselves, investing and saving towards themselves as if they were, or paying for a mortgage. You might be generating income. And again, I like to use simple numbers. If you're generating $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month and you pay no rent, you should, have your expenses that you pay for, but literally potentially saving $1,000 per week, or whatever the full amount of your paycheck. That's an amazing position to be in, and I highly encourage and highly challenge you to just maximize this time, because it won't last forever, all right? Or maybe it will, but that's another weird discussion. That why? But anyway, because we need to grow, right? The mind is about growing. Life is about growth. The life is about taking advantage of the features and benefits that exist. So if you are in a position where you are paying no rent, no mortgage, and you're living and there's no expenses, wow, just capitalize on the opportunity to save and invest, right? And just do it big, right? Speak with professionals, speak with individuals that can help you learn online, and, take action. And that can be vital to your long-term success. So in this segment, revisiting your living space, and there are ways that you can do it that you may not have thought about, and I challenge you to do so. But more importantly, keep that mind working, keep that mind moving in the right direction to continue to grow and propel your life. And remember, you can have every single thing in life that you want as long as you truly believe it. We'll see you on the next episode.